This is the Elements of Spirit for the week of October 1st, 2017. This is the reading for the element of water, which includes the sun signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. If you haven't watched your ether reading, go back and check it out now, and then come back here and watch the water reading. The ether affirmation was, let us unite and unify around the truth and distribute the seeds of what we know freely and blissfully. Together we rise, divided we fall. And alone we burp. Okay. Sorry. It's just, I gotta tell you, I mean, I don't really know how to communicate this, so I'll just try to describe it to you. It's this image of weeping shoulders that it's giving to me. So it's like, oh, well, I guess I do know how to describe it to you. Grieve the loss of responsibilities which were never yours. Then start with details, tiniest first, then make new commitments. Okay, so it's grieving the loss of responsibilities which were never yours to begin with, then start with details, tiniest first, then make new commitments. So shoulders hold responsibility, usually responsibilities which you have taken on, or which you have asked to take on that aren't yours, right? It's where we hold, responsibilities, obligations. It's where we hold those things, but up here, it's like how we support and lift up the stuff that we're trying to take on. But when we take on too much, or when we get too much taken on, we get hunched over and we can't, support ourselves. So in this case, the idea of weeping those responsibilities away says to me that there were responsibilities that you were holding on to, that we were holding on to for a really long time, which were never really ours to begin with. And that the loss of those burdens might feel fucking terrifying, because you're used to carrying around a 200-pound sack of shit on your shoulders, and all of a sudden it's gone. And it's a little compromising and confusing, because you're like, wow, my back doesn't hurt anymore, but I don't know who I am. So that's awesome. So the idea is what's appropriate. Let it die, right? Let it die, and grieve it appropriately. Grieve, and how do we grieve? Well, in this case, it's not 7 stages. The way it's coming through here is we thank the burden for its lessons and welcome new opportunities to learn and share knowledge. Okay, so grieve the loss of responsibilities which were never yours, then start with details. Tiniest first, then make new commitments. So the idea is these things were not your responsibilities in the first place, and they were preventing you from doing little things which actually need to be done in your own existence and experience, but also little things which can be steps that allow you to accomplish much bigger things. So what I'm saying is, rather than whining and crying and freaking out about the state of the world, maybe pass it through your body that I can't control the state of the world right now. So I'm going to start with the state of my world, and I'm actually going to address these tiniest little details first. So I let go of the big responsibility, I pick up the tiniest details, and then I'm able to make a new commitment to something bigger, more long-term, which will allow those tiny details, which will give me a new set of tiny details to be able to accomplish that goal. The issue is that you've got one goal, one responsibility, or multiple responsibilities, the weight of all these responsibilities, which are not yours, which are taking up all of the real estate, all of the bandwidth, all of the everything. And the idea is we want to get rid of those, let that mass of overly weighted sense of duty, obligation, responsibility go. Pick up the little bullshit details that actually need to be done. I've needed to print out a file for probably like 3 weeks. So that's the kind of little bullshit detail, which will then allow me to, set up a new project and build out this planner and like do this whole other host of things. But I'm so overwhelmed by the state of whatever else that I haven't printed the thing out, so I can't get to all those other things. The idea is that once you let this big mass of responsibility go, maybe something that's in there will be something new that you commit to, a bigger goal that you commit to after you get rid of the initial crappy little responsibility or crappy little details. You can make a new commitment to a new longer term goal with a whole new set of little details. The idea is just that this is actually a process. Small details, commitment to a new goal, followed by small details that lead me to that new goal incrementally. Right now, all of that is in a big fucking swirl over your head, and it's breaking your shoulders. Oh. There's just something that's coming in through here again, which is about this spiral, this business of together we rise. The idea is that this mass of responsibility, old crusty responsibilities, that just not even about things, just the feeling of every fucking thing is my problem. Everything is my problem. Everything hurts. Everything is relative to me. Everything weighs me down, right? I have a hand in everything. Everything is my problem, right? That is biting off so much that it makes it impossible to rise. If everything is your problem, then you're a piece of dead weight on the bottom. Everything is our problem because together we rise. Let us unite and unify around the truth and distribute the seeds of what we know freely and blissfully. Not with burden and resentment and projection and frustration, not with heaviness. It's let us unify around the truth that everything is our problem and distribute the seeds of what we know freely and blissfully. So for us, water signs, I accept responsibility for my vibration and actions. Interesting. So I love this. So this is really channeled. I had no idea what was going to come out. It says, I accept responsibility for my vibration and actions. I contribute support and reflection to group endeavors. So there's like a larger grieving process of the end of your feelings of total responsibility, that everything is your problem. So that's over now. That's dead. So there's that larger part of this process which you can go through to just engage those feelings, that massive responsibility, and don't worry about processing the past and why the responsibility happened and all that, yada, yada, yada. The point is this week is to acknowledge that nobody can possibly be that responsible for everything. Everybody must be that responsible for everything. No one person can take it on themselves. And that in your case, in our case this week, accepting responsibility for my vibration and actions allows me to course correct and say, okay, rather than getting so dang overwhelmed and overburdened by my own vibration, by my own desire to like not have to be doing this shit, you know, by my own I wish it wasn't so heavy, I wish I'm so responsible for everything. Like, so by course correcting and recognizing that that's your problem. That's not our problem. You're the one who's decided that you're responsible for everything. That's not everyone's problem. We're all responsible for everything. But if you accept responsibility for your vibrations and actions and course correct ever so slightly, you get to remove that overwhelming massive responsibility so that you can just deal with those initial, you know, to-do list that's right in front of you, so that with the mass gone and the nagging things taken care of, you have a new space which allows you to commit and create a new to-do list to get to this bigger deliciousness. And in that process, you chill the fuck out and you become able to contribute support and reflection to the group endeavors of uniting around the truth and distributing the seeds of what we know freely. So this gives you context. You know, water signs tend to become empathically overloaded very easily. So the idea is in group situations, you especially, if you go back and remember from the ether reading, we're saying, don't attack other people's truths, just assert your own harder. You don't have to tell someone else that they're wrong in order for you to be right. Everyone believes they're right. Everyone wants to be right. So in your case, water signs, when you go into a group situation, a group endeavor, if you find yourself in situations where people are trying to unify around a shared truth so that they can distribute the seeds of that truth and even the fruits of that truth to the world, your best role is not actually to push the conversation along. Your best role is to support, hold space, and reflect. To provide a supportive space of reflection, so that you want to be saying stuff like, I'm so chill, I'm so calm, and then, well, I'm hearing X, Y, and Z. So by reflecting, you become a lot more objective. By supporting, you don't have to touch so much. You're just trying to hold space. So hope this works for you this week. Affirmation once more. I accept responsibility for my vibration and actions. I contribute support and reflection to group endeavors. Mwah. I love you. Aw, thanks, Wine Mom. I love you too. We'll see you guys next week.